Hello everyone, I'm Miss Rafa. Today we're going to talk about the Silk Road. Let's get started. Module 5. Focus on a famous road. Let's start with some vocabulary. Caravan, caravan. A group of people with vehicles or animals who travel together for safety through a dangerous area, especially across a desert on camels. On foot. On foot. It means walking. Goods. Good جيد، بس goods الاسم من أصل الكلمة فصارت بضائع. Items for sale. Demand يعني مثل العرض والطلب. Demand الطلب. A need for something to be sold or supplied. Faced. Face وجه وهي اسم، أما كلمة faced فهي فعل. If you face a problem or a problem faces you, you have to deal with it. Empire. Empire. Precious. Precious. Valuable. ذات قيمة. Valuable. Persian. S-I-A-N من الفظن جن. Persian. Mediterranean. Mediterranean. Train track. Train قطار. Track مسار. Train track. The Silk Road. Imagine going on a dangerous 7,000 kilometer journey on foot, with camels carrying all your things. You will experience cold, heat, hunger, and thirst, pass through deserts, and climb mountains. قلنا حرف البي بكلمة climb لا يلفظ. When you get to your destination, you will trade your goods. Then you will be ready for the long journey home again. The Silk Road was an ancient road which connected Asia and Europe. It linked China, Central Asia, Northern India, and then the Persian and Roman empires. It was used between about 500 and 1300 CE. It is incredible that people used these roads because they went into dangerous places such as the Taklamakan Desert and the Himalayan mountains. Why did they do it? Well, at that time, only China produced silk, and it was the demand for silk that created this link between East and West. Chinese merchants gave their silk and spices to India, Europe, and the Eastern Mediterranean. In return, they took silver, precious stones, gold, and horses. The journeys took many months. Merchants had to go into the hot desert, and in the mountains they faced very cold temperatures. They used hundreds of camels to carry the goods. Each one could carry about 200 kilos. It was safer to travel in a group called a caravan because there were thieves. Caravanserai, Ely hotels, provided food and bed, and fed the animals for free for 3 days. Around 1300 CE, as the old empires lost their power, the Silk Road was used less. Travel by sea became less dangerous than a long land journey, and Europeans were making their own silk. Soon, the old towns and monuments along the road were covered by the sand, but nowadays there are special roads and train tracks that follow the Silk Road. Before you read, look at the map and find. The capital of Iraq. Baghdad. The capital of Syria. Damascus. The old name for Istanbul. Constantinople. 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 A desert. Taklamakan Desert, Sahara Desert. An inland sea. Black Sea, Caspian Sea. A group of mountains. Himalayas. This is not an important question. Read the article and answer these questions. How long is the Silk Road? لما بنسأل عن الطول بنسأل ب how long. It is 7,000 kilometers. What regions did the Silk Road cross? رح نحكي هون عن أسماء المناطق اللي بيمر فيها طريق الحرير. China, Central Asia, Northern India, Persian Empire, Roman Empire. What were the dangers of the Silk Road? Crossing the Taklamakan Desert and the Himalayas. Why did people start using the Silk Road? To sell silk and spices in India, Europe, and the Eastern Mediterranean. What goods were given and taken? Silk, spices, silver, precious stones, gold, and horses. What was a caravan like? A group of merchants and their camels traveling together. Writing. You were a merchant in the year 1000 CE, going from your hometown to China on the Silk Road. Write a diary for a day on your journey. Dear Diary, I'm on my way to China on the Silk Road. This day was extremely long and difficult. It was very hot, and all the other people were hungry, thirsty, and tired. We were out of food and water. Luckily, we found the caravanserai. We drank, ate, and rested. Then we continued our journey. Now let's go to the activity book. A Journey by Balloon. Reaching the North or South Pole has always been the dream of sailors and explorers. Many ships have been lost in the ice during these expeditions. One Swedish team had the idea of flying to the North Pole in a balloon. The leader was an experienced Arctic explorer. He took with him 2 other men, a scientist and an engineer. They started their journey on the 11th of July, 1897. The balloon was called Örnen, which means eagle in Swedish. In the basket there was food, fuel for cooking, tents, guns, a boat and sleds. In case they landed on the ice, they would then be able to walk across the ice to the North Pole. A crowd of spectators watched and cheered as the balloon took off. But that was the last time the men were ever seen. The balloon started losing gas and began to drop lower and lower. On the 14th of July, the balloon got caught in freezing fog. The weight of the ice meant the balloon became too heavy to continue flying. The men tried to save themselves from crashing by throwing everything out of the basket. It didn't work, but they survived the crash. They traveled across the ice for 2 months before they died. It wasn't until more than 30 years later that their skeletons were found by 2 Norwegian sailors. The sailors also found a diary and a camera. The diary and the photos told the story of their long and difficult journey across the ice. Read the article and answer the questions. Why did the explorers choose the name Eagle for their balloon? Because an eagle is a bird, or you can say because it is a powerful high-flying bird. Why did they take sleds and tents with them in the basket? So that they could continue their travels by walking if they had to land on the ice. What was the first serious problem with the balloon? It began to lose gas. What happened 3 days after the balloon had taken off? The balloon got caught in freezing fog and had to make a crash landing. Why did they throw all their food and equipment out of the basket? They wanted to make the balloon lighter and avoid crashing. How do we know the details of the explorers' journey? A diary, a camera, and photos of the journey were found. Find words in the text that mean. هذا السؤال كتير مهم. A long and difficult journey to discover a new area. expedition رحلة استكشافية. A type of vehicle for transporting people or goods across ice or snow. Sledge. People watching an event. Spectators. Stayed alive despite a crash. Survived. Only the bones of the body. Skeleton. Writing. Read this person's account of a journey and find the answers to the questions in the help box. The first time I ever flew in a plane was when I was about 11. My parents were taking me to visit my cousins in Egypt. It was only a short flight, about an hour and a half, but it was an experience I'll never forget. I remember watching our suitcases disappear behind a screen and wondering if I would ever see them again. I am still amazed at how your luggage ends up at the same destination as you. Once on the plane, before we left the ground, I almost became bored. I remember thinking that perhaps flying wasn't such an exciting event after all. Then we took off. I was sitting by the window, and seeing the plane rise into the air was magical. The view of my city from the sky was wonderful. I loved every minute of that journey, and I still love flying. Even though I have flown many times now, I still find it as exciting and thrilling as I did then. When you write about a journey, answer these questions. Where did you go? When did you go there? Why? I went to Egypt. When I was about 11, my parents were taking me to visit my cousins. How did you travel? By plane. What do you remember most about the journey? Watching our suitcases disappear behind a screen and wondering if I would ever see them again. Was there anything you didn't enjoy? Did anything go wrong on the journey? No. Would you make this journey again? Why or why not? Yes, I still find flying exciting. Now write about a journey you have made. The first time I went by train was when I was about 11. My parents were taking me to visit my grandparents in Damascus. I remember how excited I was while waiting for the train to take off. The view from the window was amazing. There were no complications at all. I would love to try it again. That's everything for today. Thank you very much. See you next lesson.